Jovi, what was your life like as a child in rural Virginia?
I love being around nature, seeing all the animals. I was really adventurous. I was climbing trees and just enjoying just being out there in the nature. I like being alone in the woods. I like being with myself, and it's really relaxing. It was relaxing to me, just being out there, hearing the birds chirp, and just seeing all, squirrels and everything. It's really relaxing to me, so I enjoyed it a lot.
Then you were somewhat of a loner.
I had a lot of friends, but I just enjoyed time with myself, being by myself more than I did with my friends. I guess it was the way, it gave me thinking time, to really think and look at my life. So that's definitely a loner, I'd have to say.
You never had a father in your life, did you?
He was never around, which it didn't. It would have been one thing if my father would have been around and I would have actually got to know him some, but he was never around, not even in the beginning, so it never bothered me because he wasn't even around in the beginning. I don't have memories of him, so that was never a problem.
In your school days, what kind of kid were you?
I was one of those arrogant, cocky guys that was wearing the rock and roll shirts, ears pierced or something. Just, I had a lot of friends in high school, but
Still a loner.
I was still a loner, and I was a really good wrestler in high school. So around the age of 14 and 15, that ended up making me. I was getting real cocky and arrogant, and the teachers were kind of getting a little bugged by me and my smart attitude at times. But thank God I got out of that stage. I'm
What were
learning.
some of the things you did?
Well, I love to play pranks in high school. One time I had stole one of the fake apples off of the teacher's desk, and well, I ended up putting the fake apple, on this kid's desk that I didn't like that much, and the teacher thought that this kid had stole the apple, and so he got in trouble, and he was blaming it on me, which I really did do it, and the teacher didn't believe him, so I thought it was hilarious. So
Meanwhile, your home life was less than normal.
home life less than normal. Um, Care to
Well, you had two mothers.
Oh, two mothers, so you knew about that.
Yeah.
Yes, around the age of 4, I grew up, and I, at the time, I didn't know any better, because my mom, she had a woman in her life, and when I was that young, that's all I grew up around. So it never bothered me, and having two mothers has its benefits. You get fed more, you get more treats and more sweets.
And who? Tell me about your mother, your birth mother, and your other mother.
Well, my mom, she's my birth mother. She's she can be a little crazy at times, and if you make her mad, then she'll show you. You make her mad. That's not all good at all. Not good. And her partner is a sweet, humble lady. The type to want to give somebody cookies or something after my mom makes somebody mad. So that's the way that is. But yeah.
Now, your home life was disrupted somewhere around the age of 16 when the economy went bad.
Because of greedy people, my mom was buying a house from somebody, uh, and they wanted. She was getting ready to finish up the payments on it, and she didn't have that much left on the payments, and she started running behind. Not by a lot, maybe like a couple $100 or something. Not like the whole lot. And they decided that it would be much easier for them to kick us out so they could sell the house and make more money over time for themselves. And that was really hard because when you live in a house for, let's see, 12 years, and then all of a sudden you're getting the boot, you don't know where you're going to go, anything like that, it's very stressful. So, you have to find a way to handle the stress, and the next few years would be a little rough.
So how were you living?
How are I living?
How were you living?
Bouncing around from houses to house. Here 1 second, then I'm living somewhere else the next. In one county, then I'm in another county. Constantly moving around, having to pack up stuff, and it gets tiring when you've carried a washing machine into 4 different houses in 6 months. It's not fun.
Tell me about, was your dog traveling with you? You've had a dog for a long time.
I've had a dog. His name is Jackpot. I've had him for 15 years. He's been around a long time, and I love that dog. He's, you know, when I would go out into the woods, like I was talking about earlier, he would go into the woods with me, and he would, chase after a squirrel or something. And it was a situation of, I don't, I love animals, but I wish they could live as long as we could. So
So then finally you decided to do what so many country boys do. You joined the Marines.
United States Marine Corps, Parris Island, South Carolina. Thinking about it now, it was fun. Uh, yeah, like I'm saying, thinking about it now, it was fun. Back then, it was not fun because because all the recruits and stuff, it gets so hectic. You're so stressed out. But I did learn some awesome things in the Marine Corps. Um, let's see.
How good a Marine were you?
I was one of the best Marines. I was actually a platoon leader. I was in charge of 90 recruits, and that was a rough job to do because you're taking care of 90 recruits, and when they're in the bathroom shaving or brushing your teeth, and you got to go out to formation, I got to tell them, you know, get the hell out in formation, and then they get mad at me, and it was not, it's not an easy job. And I also got to learn stuff like martial arts, diving, which I was not a good swimmer, but I became a good swimmer in the Marines. We jumped off diving boards into the water, learning survival techniques. Also, something that I never thought I would do, rappelling, because I'm not scared of heights anymore. I got over my fear in the Marine Corps of heights, but we would rappel off the rappel tower, which was about close to 100 feet, and that got me over a lot of fears. But it, yeah,
What made you leave the Marine Corps?
I wanted to be an actor, and so
You hadn't told people about this
no,
much
no,
before, but
nobody.
you had always wanted to be an actor.
Yeah, nobody knew I wanted to be an actor because I kept it, pretty much to myself.
Is that because you were a jock in a small town?
I was a wrestler, one of the best wrestlers. When you're a wrestler and you're on the wrestling team, you don't suddenly decide, well, I'm gonna leave the wrestling team and I'm gonna go do drama. You don't decide that because they look at you like you're gonna go do drama, or you're a wrestler.
Well, what happened? How did the Marine Corps look at you when you told them?
The Marine Corps, the commander, he flipped out on me. He said some swear words that I cannot use in this video, and he
He had big plans for you, didn't he?
yes, I was getting ready to go into a special Marine training, and I think that's why they had it was such a big problem. But I told him, I said I wanted to be an actor, and he thought, he was like, oh, Broadway, Hollywood, who gives a about that? And I'm like, well, sir, I want to be an actor. And long story short, that's I ended up leaving, and best choice I made in my opinion.
So you left and you got into the local movie making scene.
Indie filmmaking.
Tell me
Yes.
all about it.
Okay.
In rural Virginia, what kind of indie filmmaking is there?
Well, it's not like Hollywood filmmaking, of course, but we I'd done a movie called Invasion of the Killer Cicadas.
And you played what?
I played the killer bug. I had to dress up in a really tight bug suit, and apparently I was the only guy who was gonna look good in the bug suit or something, and then this cheap mask. And
So killer bugs wear spandex.
killer bugs do wear spandex. It's true. They get it at the bug store. But I I was the mascot of that movie, and I was the lead bug, and I love meeting people and stuff, but I don't have the scratch or the drive to be a killer bug anymore. Why? It's just I don't.
Unless, of course, the movie costs more than $12.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It costs more than $5, but
So how you were getting depressed again because you couldn't see your career going anywhere, and then what happened? You were having a premiere of your movie.
I was having a premiere of the movie, and the night before, and the night before, I had drank a little, too much gin. Uh, but luckily I didn't have a hangover. I was actually I was getting kind of sad, and then the night before my premiere, I ended up I had met a guy in Hollywood who had been in the business for over 40 years, and he I invited him to come to the premiere. And I was excited. I was like, "Oh yes, he's gonna see me in action on the big screen." And well, it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I was so happy for this guy to see me on the big screen in a theater. So he's over there, munching on his popcorn, and the movie ends, and I'm like, "Hey, what you think about the movie? It was the worst piece of crap I ever seen."
Well, was it?
Uh, yes.
So this guy offered to help you anyhow.
Yes, he decided to help me in many ways, the business ways, acting ways, learning all sorts of things about the entertainment industry.
And one of the advantages to being an old Hollywood pro is that you know other old Hollywood pros, isn't it?
Works very well. Get a lot of connections from it too.
So you have a lot of people. You're going to go to Hollywood soon, and there's a lot of people sort of waiting to see you, aren't there?
Yes.
You,
Well, I look
you,
forward to. Yeah, I've made quite a few friends out there too so far, and I look forward to meeting them all. It's going to be fun.
so how soon do you expect to be in L.A.? About 3 or 4 weeks from now, you should be set up there, shouldn't you?
Very soon.
You have an agent now, don't you?
Yes.
And a business manager.
Agent, business manager, major studios wanting to meet me, which, there's some people, that don't believe that, but I'm telling you, it's true.
You're talking to these people that want to meet you already.
Yes, I've talked to them on the phone, text messages. I've talked to a number of people, and not just one, not just two, a number of people. I've talked to a handful of people, but it's the fact that people think when you're getting these great opportunities, they think that you're lying about it or stuff like that, and that doesn't bother me because the people believe what they want.
Now, what else do you want to do? Do you have long-term plans for Hollywood besides becoming an actor?
Yes, my plan is, and it's my goal. I want to become one of the best actors in Hollywood. I want to win the Academy Award one day. That's the goal that I'm striving for. I want to be put in the category.
Nothing subtle, nothing modest.
No, no. I want to be put in the category with guys like Matthew McConaughey, Clint Eastwood. I, those guys are the guys who inspired me to become actors. They're legends of the business.
What do you particularly like about Clint Eastwood?
I liked his directing method. I love some of his movies, but I've been learning a lot about his directing method, and I believe it was he doesn't do no more than 3 shots in a scene. It's something with the way that he's shooting. I have to be watching one actually. You can compare his directing with some of the other directors. The other directors can learn from Clint Eastwood. I've watched a bunch of his movies.
So, Jovi, lean forward and look left and right and let people really get a look at what they're going to see very soon in Hollywood. Now, smile into the camera.